live, folks. We're live.
Are we?
Whoa. Look at that.
Good God.
Hey, everyone. Welcome in to the First Issue Club monthly stream. We've tried to do it once a month. And we've succeeded. Sorry, Mike, I saw you talking and I didn't hear words and I freaked out.
I was just voicing what you were saying.
Okay, because we had just had microphone issues and I was like, dear God, he's cut out. Fantastic.
I was reading your
everyone
script along with you.
I got pranked.
This is what people don't know is that every week we write a script that's very meticulous with all the ums and pregnant pauses. It's like everything here is choreographed down to the...
Yeah. Even this like befuddled start has like 2 pages on our script. We actually save all of our ums and pregnant pauses for the Patreon.
We edit more in.
Mm-hmm.
I save those.
We have a soundboard.
I cut them out, yeah. And then I'm like, this could use some ums to feel more natural.
The really hard part is being a father once all those pregnant pauses give birth. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke.
Let me go ahead and just mute Andy. Okay, so officially, hey everyone, welcome into the First Issue Club stream, the one we do once a month for all of our loyal friends and family members of the show. I'm Greg.
I'm Mike.
And I am Vargas.
And together 3, we make FIC. And today we're going to talk about a few things. Andy is going to continue his Joe Hill book report with Dollhouse. We are going to talk about our excitement for the Thunderbolts movie. We have not seen it, so we're each going to tell the ending of the movie. And we're going to spoil all the surprises, so that should be fun. I have a game for the boys called Super Shuffle, which is where I give you a song, and you have to decide between 2 superheroes that I give you who is the most likely one to have it on their playlist. And then finally, I don't know if you knew, but Andy brought it to my attention that a new trailer for the sci-fi show Revival by Tim Seeley and Mike Norton dropped this morning. Completely out of blue. Like, I didn't even see any of the major comic book sites pick it up.
Yeah, God bless the bathroom break. I saw it right before.
Is that a website you go to, or?
No, it's not. Saw it right before we came down here to record, and don't know how I missed it all day long, but here we are.
Here we are. So we're gonna watch that and give our reactions because I'm a huge Revival fan, and I trust sci-fi because I love what they did to the Resident Alien book. I don't know if you guys have watched the Alan Tudyk.
It rips. It's so good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
4th season starts pretty soon.
Yeah.
And it's just like top tier television. So if you haven't watched the Resident Alien show, please go do so. And without further ado, Andy, I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Okay.
So you can continue your book report.
Continuing my book report. This week I read The Dollhouse Family by M.R. Carey, Peter Gross, Vince Locke, and Chris Peter. So this one is, I would put it in the same kind of horror as something like Hereditary, or it's like one of those generational horrors. Where a girl gets a birthday gift and then it kind of sticks with her and gets creepier throughout her life. And obviously that's the Dollhouse. It reminded me a lot of those kind of elevated horror movies that have become very popular by, A24.
Yeah.
Skinamarink.
Well, less Skinamarink, but yeah, in that vein.
More Babadook?
More Babadook, yes, than Skinamarink for sure.
Let's take a pause here and realize if someone just stumbled into this stream and didn't know anything about horror movies, they would think we were making them up at this point. Just like, the great horror movie Babadook
and Skinamarink. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Andy, continue.
No, it's more Babadook than it is Skinamarink. There are images like this, so
cool.
It's not quite as
that looks like Dark Crystal Jim Henson shit.
Yes. It's it has that kind of like it's not the gothic horror, but it's like, it's all that kid horror where they like find a weird thing and the thing grows up with them and helps them deal with trauma. So they become attached to it. Yeah, Mac and Me. That's exactly right, Greg. I don't know. It was another hit. It was another hit. I had a movie in my head that it reminded me of, and I've lost it since I finished the book. But this one is another book that I probably wouldn't have picked up off the shelf. But again, super glad that it came in that box set because it was way better than I would have guessed that it would be, just based on the cover alone. Mike D, you read all these, right? Too.
Yes,
is any of this like resonating with you? Am I off base on any of it?
No, it's definitely ringing a bell. I remember really enjoying this one in particular. I feel like there's a lot to chew on in it. Like you kind of alluded to, there's like themes of abuse throughout and finding comfort and like escapism in your toys. But like, when does that escapism become unhealthy?
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of like avoiding your problem. And not that like the whole horror thing, I think, is a metaphor for avoiding reality and kind of disappearing into your like imagination and losing yourself. But it's manifesting in like a real dreamland that this girl can like visit. And and your nostalgia is a powerful drug, right? And you want to keep coming back to it, and it can convince you to kind of stay in like a failure to launch state. And this comic has so many great themes and little nuances to stuff like that makes it a really fun read, on top of just like face level being really creepy, really eerie, and having a couple turns on like what you feel about the toys in the dollhouse and all that stuff. It was really good. It was one of my favorites, I think.
It almost it reminded me, or like made me think that somebody started out with like, how can we modernize and make Alice in Wonderland a horror book? Something like that. It's not exactly right, but it had those kind of themes.
It feels like a horror Indian in the cupboard, or something like that.
Exactly. So very good book. Again, totally recommend this one. Not something I would have picked up off the shelf, but super glad I read it. So
I think that and Daphne Byrne were just two comics that covers did just like horror bros would never have been like, ooh, that looks rad.
That one's for me.
Right. Which is unfortunate. I mean, it shows you how important like marketing is in comics, and how like a first issue cover can really make or break you. I was just somebody who's like taking a chance on like all the stuff, and if it's Joe Hill endorsed, I was like, heck yeah, I'm in for it.
Right.
But most of your casual comic book goers aren't gonna pick those up based on the covers
or the name, like the Dollhouse Family.
The Dollhouse Family,
it
sounds like a kid's book.
Well, and even if you're like, oh, the Dollhouse Family, it's a horror book. You're like, okay, I don't want to read Chucky as a comic, right?
Sure.
Like,
you don't?
No, I don't. I really do not want to read Chucky as a comic. You don't read a slasher book as a comic. No.
Mike D, refresh my memory. The first one was Basket Full of Heads, right? In the Joe
That's
Hill
the first
thing.
one I remember reading. Yeah,
And then
Yeah.
I think Dollhouse was second.
I
Could be.
thought Lolo Woods was second.
Feels
but
like they all came out at the same time. But
Just like a shotgun blast of like Joe Hill. Just like, yeah, there you go.
Well,
take it all.
they were all mixed against each other because I think the what's it called, the pirate backup story would jump
Sea Dogs.
Sea Dogs would jump series.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
came out in the order of the comic. So you would read
Yes.
Sea Dogs Part 3 in Basket Full of Heads 2, and then pick it
Yeah.
up in Lolo Woods 4 the next week. You know what I mean? So they were all kind of coming out around the same time. But
Yeah.
They really thought people were invested into that Seabiscuit story. Sea Dogs, sorry.
Seabiscuit, he says. Yeah,
it is a good idea when you're kicking off a new publisher or imprint as like a gimmick to do something like that, so people try your new titles. Like, what a fun concept to like help sell it.
I think they would have done better to have like a chunk of the story in like Dollhouse Family 1, 2, 3, 4 has parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Lolo Woods has 5, 6, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you're reading it straight in a
sequence.
row. Yeah.
Yep.
Or doing something where like the Dollhouse Family part of the story interconnects with the separate story that's in this other series. Because I did not buy all the Joe House comics books, and I was really only interested in, I said Joe House comics, didn't I?
Yeah, I was gonna let it go, but
Joe
you
Hill.
brought it up.
Hill House comics. I was really only interested in the Plunge, so I have like part 24, 29, 32, whatever it is. Like it just doesn't, it's just burned pages, at the end of my comic.
I do think part of it was that like creating that nostalgic feel of like there's a backup story in this random like dime store comic I picked up. So like hearkening back to being a kid and just like here's some serialized mini in here, and I don't know anything about what's going on, but it's got like some cool monsters and ghost stuff in it.
Sure.
Like, part of me thinks they presented it like that, but people also don't read comics like that anymore, So they needed to maybe go an extra mile to make it a successful gimmick.
Yeah.
Or if that was the idea, I would have almost preferred like someone write just like 4 fun, absolutely nutso pages that are like related to nothing.
Yeah.
Just as an excuse to like get crazy page to page.
Yeah. Like almost like
a
that,
really funny cliffhanger.
Like the trailers inside Grindhouse.
Yes,
right.
Oh my
Or-
god,
totally.
yes.
They're just
Don't.
yeah, they're just nothing but a fun time to be had.
That's
Mhm.
exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's a
Andy,
great
how
idea.
how many do you have left for your book report?
3.
I was
I've
gonna
got
say,
Lolo Woods, I've got Basket Full of Heads, Sea Dogs, and that might be it.
well, you need Refrigerator Full of Heads too, right?
Yes, and I need to go find Refrigerator, but inside
So
that box set,
I'd
that's
love
it.
to hear at the end your power ranking of all the Joe Hill books, but do you have like a front runner right now that you're just like definitely read this, and why is it The Plunge?
I mean, it is The Plunged, but it's like only because it's such a clear homage to John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just obsessed with Carpenter's like 80s action movies.
Mhm.
So if that's like not your jam, you probably won't be as, all in on that as I am. If Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak is like your favorite movie of all time, you're going to enjoy Daphne Byrne more than any of this. I will truly say that there have been no stinkers so far, which
Stinker free.
yeah, but like, in a box of horror comics,
Yeah.
you'd think one would be like, this is garbage.
Mhm.
But
Have you
they've all
have
been
you
good.
read Lolo Woods?
Nope,
Okay.
not yet.
I'm interested what you think about that one. I think it was a comic that suffered a little bit for me from the release time, and that it was parts of it were like abstract and were meant to be vague to create like a sense of mystery,
hmm
but month to month it was very much like what was happening last time, kind of one of those comics. But
I can see that.
in a collected edition, I think it'll probably read a lot better. So
Yeah.
maybe if you like it a lot, I'll revisit it. It had
Find
some really
out.
cool themes in it too.
Find out next week
Yeah.
when I continue my book
Incentive to
report.
return.
That's right.
What's the elevator pitch for Lolo Woods?
Oh my gosh. I read the first issue to talk about the box set. It's like there's this town and it got like it was a coal mining town and there was a big fire in one of the mines. So that there's been like a fire burning under this town for 20 or 30 years.
Whoa.
And weird stuff happens in this town, like women end up with like missing time, and there's like weird creatures out in the woods, and people like go missing and go crazy all the time. And these two girls, what they wake up, and can't remember anything. They're in a movie theater, and they whatever are like, that's like the impetus of this mystery surrounding, they're gonna whatever have something happen to them. And the end of the book, one of the girls ends up sleeping with one of her classmates, and she comes back and the classmate has like a portal inside her chest.
Yeah, that's right.
So and again, that's like how the book ends. So I don't know what happens beyond that, but
Okay.
it's very like Silent Hill.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the things the book ultimately deals with, I think, are not necessarily the occult, but are meant to be a little more of like, here's what happens to, or are meant to be metaphors for here's what happens to women in today's society. That
Like The Witch.
you meet witches in this. Exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do meet witches like this who are considered like these certain types of outcasts, but is that like a metaphor for an older concerned woman
Yeah.
whose concerns have been cast aside? Like that's kind of how that character's treated. I don't want to speak to it too much because I don't want to ruin anything for you, but maybe I'll reread that one so we can have a less than one-sided conversation about it next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
I did forget about some interesting news about another town that has a supernatural aura around it. Chip Zdarsky announced that Stillwater is being made into a TV show.
Yeah.
Ow!
And once again, I was right when we should have invested into Skybound Media, because that was one of their properties. And now we're out $50 million. So if you don't know what Stillwater is about, it's about a town that you like go into, and if you're in the city limits of this town, you can't die, which presents itself with a lot of interesting scenarios. Can you not leave either once you're in the town, or do they not want you to leave?
They don't want the word to get out.
Yeah. Okay. It's like hidden away, like in a wooded area, so not many people know where it's at. It's like off the beaten path, but there are like children there that have been alive for like 80 years that still look like they're 13, jumping off of buildings and like breaking every bone in their body and then like reforming in like nothing happened. And I was actually telling you guys in a text thread like a couple weeks ago about how it's just rife for a television show. It'd be so easy to do, creepy town with a weird mystical hook about it.
It does remind me a lot of Walking Dead in that it's just like it starts as an interesting scenario,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden there's a bad guy, and you're like, oh, like it's more than just like what happens in this town. Like there's a clear nemesis, And then later in the book, there's another nemesis that's like beyond who you thought the bad guy was at first. So very much like Walking Dead in the progression of those things, where it does a great job of raising the bar over time.
Yes, I fully agree with that, Mike D, and just I'm just super excited. I think Amazon picked it up.
Boo.
Okay, you know what? Boycott the Stillwater TV show then.
I wish that, I mean, I guess I hope that the like creepy town genre just becomes a thing, because one of my favorite comics of all time was Nailbiter, and talk about a comic that's just begging for a TV show.
Or Where Monsters Lie by Kyle Starks.
For real.
A like retirement community, well, not retirement community, but like a housing community for serial killers to rest their weary bones in between killings. I mean, Jesus Christ. Does it get any more formulaic for a TV show? It's like perfection.
Seriously. Jordan Peele, call us.
Or who just did Sinners?
Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. Do that. Somebody.
Red Hot. Ryan Coogler can't miss.
Who's the guy that did Mandy that we think is
funny? Panos Cosmatos. Yes.
My favorite flavor of ice cream.
Ryan Coogler's actually rebooting X-Files. That's his next project.
I saw that. And I see an article where like, did Gillian Anderson say something about it? Fill me in here, Andy.
Yeah, so confirmed Ryan Coogler's rebooting X-Files. That's his next project. And
he wants to just be rebooting things. It's like after he got famous, all he's ever done is like existing IP like reboot stuff, I feel like.
Well, Sinners isn't a reboot.
Yeah, Sinners is his he wrote it, pretty sure. And didn't he do did he do 13 Bridges also?
Yeah, that was one of Chadwick Boseman's
last movies.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I guess, I think 13 Bridges was a sequel to 12 Bridges. So that might be.
Oh, yeah. It was the sequel to Ocean's 11. That's right.
Yeah, it's like in a long succession of films.
Oh my God.
Now we're just kind of picking on Mike D.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different Ryan director.
Anyway, Gillian Anderson, is she involved somehow?
Yeah, so he's had conversations with her. She's interested in returning. It has not been confirmed that she is returning though. And no word from Fox Mulder on whether he's coming back. So
as someone who has seen every episode of X-Files, it is a mixed bag at best.
X-Files is phenomenal, with the exception of season 7, 8, and 9.
You bastard. Yeah, so like even like on average, phenomenal show. Like it goes X-Files, Sopranos, season 2 of Mr. Rogers, and then like some other stuff. But like I love how it is just kind of like an anthology show at heart. Like each new episode is its own fucking thing. Like, do you guys remember the cop episode that they did where it's like
they were
Mulder
on Cops?
Scully showed up on an episode of Cops, and it was like the funniest like episode of X-Files ever.
Yeah, or the Rashomon episode they did where there's vampires in the town, but they're like relaying it back to Skinner. And Luke Wilson is the sheriff, and and Scully remembers him all hot, and Mulder remembers him like a hick. He's got like buck teeth and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
There was one. It was maybe the most repulsive episode I've seen of X-Files, where like it was like a mutated family of like Hills Have Eyes people that like lived in this old house.
Oh,
and they
dude,
drove around with, like Dragula back on a car, and like they just had to escape the house pretty much, right? Like they were trapped in the house.
Yeah, season 5, episode 4, I think. It's called
Shut the
Home.
fuck up. You do not know that.
Dude, I watch it every Halloween.
It's fucking gross.
Yeah, where the
'Cause
mom,
there's a sex scene in it.
the mom's under the bed.
No, the mom's on top of the bed.
No, she's under the bed. They keep her on a wheel thing, and they wheel her
Oh,
out.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
One of the
So
most
good,
disturbing
man.
episodes of television I've ever seen. Go check it out.
Yeah,
You deserve to watch it.
that one and the black and white episode where I think it's called Modern Day Prometheus, and I want to say it's from season 6. It's the black and white episode, where the monster like gasses people and then like makes out with the housewives around town and gets them pregnant.
Yes, that is a great one. I remember the earworm one a lot.
I mean, there's so many good ones.
Yeah, the first 3 seasons are perfect. Like,
Yes,
can't touch them. They're perfection. Like the episode with like Jack Black and Ryan Gosling as like teenagers.
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Perfect. Anyway, this isn't an X-Files stream. This is a
Yet.
comic book stream. It should be. We haven't seen Thunderbolts yet. It's premiering tonight. Some of us may see it this weekend. Some of us just may read spoilers online. Who knows? It's currently sitting at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fucking crazy because of the last 4 years we've had of Marvel. It's been really a roller coaster of quality, but it seems that people are really connecting with Thunderbolts. So I guess what are your plans? Are you guys gonna go see it this weekend? Are you like prioritizing seeing this in theaters or waiting for it to come to streaming? What are you guys doing?
I hate going to movie theaters, and I would like to avoid it at all costs. However, I do get I feel like I'm starting to gather that there's some good spoilers in this. And I would like to avoid those. So I will probably prioritize seeing it this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to try and go Saturday after the boy gets put down to bed. And my plan is to dunk on all the haters.
Who's hating on it?
The people that said Thunderbolts is going to be stupid.
I think they're just wrong.
Obviously they're wrong. 90% doesn't lie.
I think it takes a lot to hate on this particular movie. Like, because it just seems like it's perfect blockbuster fanfare. Like, you really have to go out of your way to find something to hate about this movie.
And yet, I bet those videos are on YouTube right now.
And yet they will.
Disney sucks again. Thunderbolts
Disney
is a nightmare.
Laid another egg. Bob Iger fired from Disney. You guys want to play a game?
Yes.
Please.
All right, let me share my screen real quick. We are going to play another rendition of Super Shuffle, a game where I give you a song and 2 superheroes, and it's up to you to decide whose iPod would this song show up on. Too many S's in a row for me. This is a major hit. We've gotten emails after emails about this game that I've created saying, please, please make the show more about Super Shuffle. And I keep telling them, I'm trying, but I'm getting pushed back from the rest of the hosts. So I've weaseled this one in, even made a little card here to make it more attractive to our listeners.
So cute, Greg. So cute.
Thank you. All right, let's begin. The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. We have Ego the Living Planet and Uatu the Watcher. What are you doing, Mike?
Can you see my camera froze on my side?
Oh,
We can still see you.
You're moving.
All right. Well, I'm gone again. You can see me this whole time.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see you.
Put
We
your
can
shirt
see
back
your-
on.
We can see.
I can't see myself anymore for some reason.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen. It does not matter, I suppose.
Well, keep us posted, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd. We have Uatu the Watcher and Ego the Living Planet.
I think this is Uatu.
Is it because they don't make headphones big enough for Ego the Living Planet?
No, it just Uatu seems like the kind of guy who needs to like smoke a giant J and chill.
Yeah, rest his head.
Yeah,
Rest its little weary head.
Big ol' weary head.
his big old noggin, looking
Yeah.
like a big old baby.
Look at that. Retaining water.
Yeah, I'm actually having a tougher time with this one than you might think. Ego definitely does look like he follows like classic rock bands around. I'm gonna go with Uatu though.
Okay.
Pink Floyd's a little more hip, I think, and Uatu's
Yeah.
a moon hipster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Pink Floyd does have T-shirts at Target, so they're pretty hip. Maybe the hippest. Where is
I think Ego. He likes really small indie bands, and when you
Mhm.
don't know about them, he really berates you and makes you feel like an idiot.
Yeah, and then as soon as you do know about them, he stops liking them.
That's exactly right.
Okay. All right.
Maybe there's a dark side of the moon joke to be made with Uatu here.
I think maybe that's why I
Probably.
selected it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next up. Digital Love by Daft Punk. We have Nimrod and Warlock.
Oh, it's a tough one.
I think Nimrod. Nimrod's like sleek and modernly designed in a way that screams house to me.
You think?
Whereas Warlock almost looks like he'd be listening to like Dred Zeppelin or something.
He's the personification of dubstep. Yeah.
I was gonna say Warlock is like a Skrillex fan.
Yeah, man.
Warlock is Skrillex.
Nimrod's much more buy it, break it, fix it, change it,
Yeah.
upgrade it.
He's more
More
purposeful
rigid
house music.
Yes.
I want my electronica with a purpose.
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Mama's Boy by
Oh,
Chromeo.
God,
We
I love
have
Chromeo.
Orphan Maker and Nightcrawler.
I
Both
love
boys
Chromeo.
have severe mommy issues.
Oh. I think Nightcrawler's a little too uptight for Chromeo.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't see him vibing with the tongue-in-cheek nature of their music.
I think we've talked about how Nightcrawler is maybe the most difficult to choose music for because it's just going to be like Mozart and Beethoven and Gregorian chants. Like he is a very particular type of music fan.
Well, and David Hasselhoff, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Loves a German bop. Yeah, that is tough. I think like when I think of stuff Nightcrawler likes, it's like classic Hollywood. That was always a theme in the early Nightcrawler X-Men stuff. Was he was always using like a Tony Stark image modifier to look like Clark Gable and had
Mhm.
all these old movie posters up in his room in the mansion. But that leads me to believe that he might like some like classical sort of stuff that like
Nondescript jazz.
my grandma
just, like,
would have listened to.
rambling around in the house.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I don't know who this other guy is.
Orphan Maker?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
who
don't
that
know
is.
too much about Orphan Maker, but
So
Orphan
Orphan
Maker's-
Maker, it was basically adopted by Nanny, the little egg villain.
But is he a cyborg or is he?
No, so Nanny made Orphan Maker that suit because he has like a power that, if used, could destroy the world.
Okay.
So this suit that he's in helps contain the like erratic power that he has. So he has like above average strength and agility and speed and stuff thanks to the suit, but the suit kind of protects us from him, and Nanny made that for him.
And he looks like a man, but from the size of this suit. But he kind of talks like he's a little kid.
So the thing is, like, he might be like mentally not progressed past childhood. His mutant powers came on later or earlier in life than normal. And so I think Nanny found him among the Morlocks and like kind of adopted him and raised him and made that suit for him. And so I think he's just kind of like in a state of arrested development as far as intellectual capacity.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
I'll give him Chromio.
My band's name is Orphan Maker for sure.
It's a sweet ass name.
It's a ripping band name. Yeah, I think Orphan Maker's a Chromio boy.
Okay. All right. We got next Taste by Sabrina Carpenter. Rogue or Wolverine?
Wolverine. And I'll tell you why.
Because he's a whore?
No, because Wolverine has impeccable taste. And Taste by Sabrina Carpenter slaps hard. This song rules. And much like a certain member of First Issue Club, Wolverine wants you to think all he does is listen to hard rock and heavy metal. But you know what? Every once in a while, he needs some bubblegum pop.
Are you talking about Mike D?
Yeah, I'm talking about Mike D.
Mike D always thrashing Gore Pig on the way to Whole Foods.
I'm a hard disagree. I think it's Rogue. I think she hears this and thinks about Gambit and Magneto.
Yeah. I think they listen to it
This is
together.
kind of like a revenge love song.
Revenge love. Well, I mean, that's what the base of the song is about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Oh, nope. We got Abracadabra by Lady Gaga. We have Magma and Kid Gladiator.
I don't know either of these characters. I'll be honest with you.
I'm gonna go Kid Gladiator.
Kid Gladiator looks like he can get down on the dance floor.
For sure. He's kind of a weirdo, very like alt. Kind of like almost looks like I could see a boy K-pop band wearing gear like this, but you know, he's obviously got like a gothic bent to him, which works for like the driving weird pop rock of specifically Abracadabra, abracadabra. That song's so weird.
Your feet under the beat, the bees on fire.
I do like Lady Gaga quite a bit, but this new album I haven't found it yet for myself. It hasn't totally settled in. Yeah.
I've only listened to the song once, and I was very disappointed that it wasn't a cover of Abracadabra.
Yeah.
By Steve Miller.
By Steve Miller. Because Lady Gaga doing Steve Miller? Come on.
That's a tough ask to cover Steve Miller. I mean, when you do a song so perfect the first time, that's why every cover of Blackbird by the Beatles is just slightly lacking.
Well, sure. But it's Lady Gaga. She could do it.
Yeah. I actually like this song. So I haven't really listened to the rest of the episode, the rest of the album, but I know this one makes me dance in my car, and that's all I need to know. And Teddy likes it a lot. So We listen to Abracadabra quite a bit.
Magma is one of those characters that I always thought should have been more popular. Like, didn't get a lot of play in New Mutants, the book that introduced her, around what, like issue like 9 or 10 or something. And then she was just like on the team from then on out. But like they barely, like, she never really had like a main storyline. But is basically like the woman Human Torch in a lot of respects. And you think that'd make her like a really versatile character. They drew her as like a cute blonde when she's not in her fire state. So she would have been like such a good Johnny Storm like counterpart. But for whatever reason, I think one of the lesser known mutants.
I actually chose Magma because I was researching superheroes to use for this list, and I stumbled across like top 10 strongest young superheroes that like people don't talk about, and Magma was like number 4. Like,
Yeah,
and the article kind of had the same points that you did, Mike D. Is just like, why haven't we gotten more Magma storylines? Like, she's such a unique character. Like, her power set is kind of open for a lot of interpretations and usages. It's just like, it's a character you don't get a lot of input from, which is a kind of a bummer.
Well, based on that description alone, I'm going to go with Kid Gladiator.
Okay. Kid Gladiator for the win. Okay. And that is the end of the presentation.
Good job,
of
Greg.
Super Shuffle.
woo!
Oh, please. It was nothing.
It was not nothing.
Magma is from like, isn't she was like a daughter of a dictator in like a hidden city in Brazil or something, right?
Magma?
I thought that was Sunspot.
Yeah, I thought
Wasn't
Sunspot was
he
that.
was like a rich kid, right?
He's a rich kid and his dad is like a businessman.
Oh, okay.
Amora, I think her name's Amora.
Amara.
Amara
is from Nova Ramona, a secluded area in Brazil that has similar customs to ancient Rome.
Yeah. And I think she was like an heiress to that area. So, you know, I don't know. That doesn't scream electronica pop to me.
Yeah.
Growing up in New Rome.
Yeah, she's hails from the fictional country of Nova Roma. The colony is hidden in the Amazon rainforest of modern Brazil and was ruled until recently by the immortal witch Selene.
Yeah, that's right. Selene's first appearance
okay.
is in an early New Mutants book too. There's so many good things that came out of early New Mutants. But yeah, I love the idea that the Romans discovered the Americas and started like a colony but just like stayed secluded. Like the Amazon was so treacherous that they built this little Rome that like no one knew about. And just kind of like stayed in Rome time without technology for a really long time. Just cool idea for a story.
Yeah, it says here that her powers manifested after she is abducted by Selene, who throws her into a lava pool, and that's when her powers manifest and she takes on the name Magma.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Lucky timing.
Thank God she had
Yeah, no
fire
shit.
powers.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was water powers, just boof, she gone.
Well, she gets thrown in and she just like ends up like Beak. Like
Fried chicken
Absolutely
at the end of the night. Have you guys seen the new Spider-Man gal? Like one of the gals that hangs out in the coffee shop in Spectacular Spider-Man is like a metamorpho type.
Mm-mm.
Where am I thinking of the right guy? Metamorpho is like the part diamond, part rock.
Oh, and she's like a singer, right? Or is she a musical artist?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But she's like all 4 elements.
Oh, you thinking of Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man from the Doom Patrol?
No.
Clearly,
I think I'm thinking of Metamorpho.
Yeah, Metamorpho can like adopt. I mean, he's like the Absorbing Man, kind of, right? Where he
But
can.
he looks
No,
like
I'm thinking of Amazo. Sorry.
okay. She's like all 4 quadrants, like element power person.
Okay.
It just reminds me of him a little bit that like he can take on the qualities of diamond or rock or whatever he needs to.
Wouldn't that be great if you could just turn your finger into a diamond,
Amazing.
what would I do with that?
or turn your hair into diamond and then cut it off?
I was gonna say chop off my finger and then sell it. And now I'm down a finger.
Wouldn't need a hammer ever.
Uncut gems.
True.
Just
Punch
punchy
some
nails.
Nails.
I think I would quit my job as a laborer if I get turned into diamonds. That's just like me, I guess.
You can't cut your finger off and like regenerate it though, can you?
But we don't know if it regenerates. It's just
You would try it.
okay. I'm not a lizard. Just gonna lose my tail and see what happens.
How much would you sell your pinky for?
See, that's a thing that's like to different people it means different amounts of money.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have to get it
A
appraised.
diamond that's the size of a pinky would be a ton of money.
Right.
Oh, I thought we were just going down the road of like, how much would I, Andy Vargas, chop off my pinky for?
Yeah, that's basically what we're boiling this down to.
Yeah, but if my
But if you're-
pinky's a diamond,
But if your pinky's worth more than what you
yeah, right.
accept to cut it off, I mean it's
So yeah, well, I'm asking what your threshold is.
To lose
I guess
a pinky.
do I like my pinky? And like I wouldn't need to cut off a pinky if I could like solicit myself as like I don't know, an attraction. Come see the diamond boy. You know what I mean? I could probably make more money doing that.
What a fun way to discuss a what if. Weaseling out of it with nonsense logic. Listen,
It would be in the
what
millions
amount
of dollars.
of money
It would be in the
would you
millions
cut
of dollars.
off? Yeah, me too. I would probably need $10 million to cut my pinky off.
Diamond pinky or just regular pinky?
Either.
Look, call it 5 million. I'll give you a pinky toe.
Pinky toe.
Yeah,
would be
my
5 million.
pinky toe price is way lower for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But a finger, my thing is like, if I said $1 million, $2 million for a finger, when it came down to actually doing it, I think I'd back out. For 10
bail
million,
so
I'm
hard.
like, I'm committed. 10 million is like,
I'm like emotionally and physically very attached to my digits. You can take whatever toes you want,
yeah.
respectfully, for the right price. You
But
would have
Greg's
to
like-
pay up.
Greg's
for
like,
these
what am I going to
fingies.
stick up my butt now?
Whatever you can buy, I guess.
$10 million would buy a lot of dildo.
We were
I
just
mean,
talking
my-
about Chuck
my
Pounding the other
pinky
day.
was
You can-
perfect for what I needed it for.
yeah. A lot of things can go up there, man. You don't need to just stick to fingers.
God.
See, this is the kind of stuff you get from the First Issue Club stream. Thought-provoking, investigative reporting on which member would cut off their pinky and for how much. If you guys are ready, we can pivot to the Revival trailer.
Oh, I'm big time ready.
Yeah. can
Andy, have you
share
watched it?
audio?
There is audio. I got it pulled up.
Oh yeah, I watched it. All right. So chat, we're gonna watch the Revival trailer. We're gonna pause it every once in a while. So, pipe in on your thoughts and feelings.
Yeah. So this is the trailer for Revival out on Sci-Fi coming eventually. Let's begin.
Sooner rather than later. Obviously, they got a trailer out.
Let me know if you guys can hear it or not.
Okay.
Now, do you remember what happened the night of Revival Day?
Officer? Don't know what's going on. I don't understand.
Bits and pieces.
Okay, pause. Right off the bat, I'm kind of surprised they're leaning into the horror element and less into the sci-fi stuff that shows
How
up
so?
later on.
Well, it's just first 20 seconds. We don't know that for sure.
No. I just mean in
You said
the comic.
tonality of the
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it makes sense to me. That's what that's the big hook of like it's scary if people come back to life. I mean,
Yeah, it's just surprising to me that they went with that instead of, I don't know.
Mhm.
Because horror TV rarely does well.
Yeah.
Is my thought. And sci-fi TV tends to do better.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe not that, like, so far from what we've seen, it might be a little more sci-fi. Like these people aren't like immediately killing like zombies, right? They're just meandering around being like, where am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, we saw a crematorium and someone wake up at a crematorium, which bad news for everybody who got cremated.
Yeah, they come back as dust.
Yeah, you come back as dust.
Dust bunnies walking around the town.
What a curse. I guess you could mix with a bunch of other dust people and make one big dust.
What? One big dust storm going around
One
the
big
city.
hive mind dust guy.
We are James.
That's why you get buried full.
Yeah, before I die, I'm eating a big sandwich and I'm going to die full.
If we ever get resurrected.
Here we go.
Yeah.
No one's seen you for weeks. Dad's been freaking out. The dead have come back to life.
So far, real quick, so far, every character in the trailer is a picture perfect reflection from the comic books.
Yeah.
Which isn't hard, just people, but like it's kind of nice to like see they haven't gone any like weird direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a hot topic lately for Last of Us.
I haven't seen any of that show, actually.
People are hating on that gal cast in Last of Us because she doesn't look like Ellie. Is Ellie, this one of these one of them comic books you like, Ellie?
All right, keep it going.
What is going on?
I'm fine.
Okay. Because you know your big sister has a taser and a gun. And a
She has her
low
hoodie in
moral
this.
bar.
What were you doing way out there anyway?
We're working a case.
If anyone out there suspects anyone of being one of these revivers,
Well,
they
pause
should
it.
report their whereabouts.
We've got reviver discrimination confirmed. I mean,
Chat confirmed.
I already like all this scenarios we're seeing, and it seems kind of like fun. Like this is, do you know, it reminds me some of the like idea of The Leftovers, which was
I
like,
love that show.
what
Love that
if,
show.
what was it, like half the people disappear?
Mm-hmm.
But that show just like stayed really like a bummer forever. And like,
Yeah.
like was it fun for like quite a while? And this seems like it's getting to a lot of fun ideas in the town like quick.
Mm-hmm.
If we're seeing it in the trailer that like people are discriminating against the people who've been revived, like that's just a great thought-provoking scenario.
Agreed.
Makes me wonder.
Immediately to the authorities. Don't take any chances.
Okay, this is reviver tissue, okay? Their cellular structure can regenerate. The gates of hell have opened.
Holy shit. Okay. This rules.
Remind me, so you guys read the comics, or Greg, you read probably the most revival out of any of us, is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
So in this, are they more zombies?
No.
Like, yeah, they're not like eating your brains or anything.
No,
I think,
and
like-
that particular character is acting that way for a particular reason.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Okay, Yeah, I like that scenario more than these are just like
Yeah.
zombies. And it's interesting
There
to see
is
like
a
these,
kind of like Alzheimer's effect when these people come back, because there's just like a lot of confusion
yeah.
because well, in like they were dead and now they've come back to life. They're like, some of them are just like, is this heaven? And it goes into a whole really interesting conversation about death and its permanence and all that. And so I'm guessing the show is going to get into that. But no, when these people are revived, they're not like in zombie form and like hungry for like people's
flesh,
brains or skin or anything.
Yeah, right. They're kind of like towing a line so far in the trailer that makes you wonder if it's a zombie thing. You know what I hate that sci-fi and like horror movies do is when you have a world with zombies and it presupposes that no one in this world has ever conceived of the dead coming back to life before. Like they don't have the words for zombie.
I hate that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the same thing.
Like some kind of dead walker.
I loved Midnight Mass. Was that the name of that Netflix show?
Yes.
And that did that, but with vampires, where it was just like they just didn't have the language for vampire. This was a world wherein Dracula was never written, and that just like wasn't a popular lore.
Well, yeah, like the vampire in that was like potentially Dracula himself, but they treated him as an angel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, right.
So
Like
good.
without that context, you're like, is this some sort of angel or demon because of the qualities it can bestow upon others?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, great show, but at the same time, I was like, this dang guy's a Dracula. And nobody's talking about like it's that is so distracting to me that nobody is like, holy shit, a Dracula.
Why is no one saying Dracula? What is happening?
All right. Trailer.
Revival Day gave us a second chance, and I'm not going to let that go to waste.
She's a murder victim who's alive.
That is not our daughter. She came back.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that.
Yeah, man.
There's your sci-fi part, Andy.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised the trailer leaned into the horror stuff and not the sci-fi stuff.
I can't wait to see the fitness guy.
Whatever makes them different could be the key to everything.
I can't police something that can't be killed.
There are 47 names on the Reviver registry. How do we know that's all of them?
I was on the bridge,
my God.
and something bad happened.
Pause. Too many things have happened for us not to talk.
Here, I'll back up. Do you want me to go press play again?
No, I'm just saying, like, let's chat about what we have seen. I mean, we saw one of the revivers cut his chest open, and it's like this cool teenager now can be in like the fucking hardest rock band ever because he can like self-mutilate on stage and just like heal. Like he's metal as fuck. The town's people are getting increasingly violent because there's less repercussions for violence, so people are like losing their buffer and tolerance for that sort of thing. They talked.
We saw the guy in the ski mask that is fucked up.
Yeah, right. You know, there's the idea of just like I'm disfigured and revived. Like I'm gonna hide my face, or how am I gonna be accepted around town? They mentioned a registry, which is another interesting thing, and showed some ID cards. Like all of this is great world building stuff, and I love the idea of like a sustainable amount of revivers for the beginning of the show, that you almost have your bearings for like who's around town as like characters, and it's not just like, oh, they're nameless, faceless zombie like people who came back. Like there's room for us to like get to know the characters this way.
So far, the quality of the show looks incredible.
Oh, it looks like it's produced really well. You're right. We should say that. Like the lighting is very dramatic and eerie. It
I
feels
know it's
like
like
elevated TV.
difficult to tell from a trailer, but like people seem like they're acting like well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not like overacting, or it doesn't seem like they don't know what they're doing. Like it just seems like a very well produced and put together television show.
There is a part of me that's like Walking Dead was so popular. And then there was the next really popular show after that was a huge cultural phenomenon was Game of Thrones, which had like White Walkers, which were like kind of similar in a way. And like, did those shows just eat the undead's lunch like so hard that it's really difficult to make a successful undead thing now? Like, I kind of think so.
Yeah, the zombie thing got played out so hard.
Really hard. Around like 28 days later, like,
yeah,
there was just this explosion of zombie stuff. And now Walking Dead was kind of like knighted as the one. And since it's been like really hard to this twist is interesting enough.
I think
part of me is like Stillwater is kind of close in concept to this, that if this show ends up really popular, does that like, do you do something a little more different with Stillwater?
No, and here's why I think that is because Revival is about a town where people have come back to life. Stillwater is a show about a town where you can't die. You know, like, and there's like political intrigue as well with Revival of just like the town and the villains that it's made. Like, I think there's enough of a unique twist on both of these where they can exist within the zeitgeist together.
Fair.
All right, I'm gonna hit play.
Makes them different could be the key to everything.
I can't believe something that can't be killed.
There are 47 names on the Reviver registry. How do we know that's all of them?
I was on the bridge and something bad happened.
There's the hoodie.
I aim to send those demons back to hell. One by one.
You went through my phone.
I'm a detective. I was detecting.
Hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah,
that's the Revival trailer. We also got a glimpse of them like trying to live forever from Reviver technology.
I was gonna say, wasn't that, and that's like the sci-fi stuff, part of the sci-fi stuff that I was talking about isn't there a plot point where they like have somebody in a basement and they're like harvesting his organs over and over and over again?
We kind of saw that guy.
Yeah.
He was
that's
in
a
like
major
a plastic casing.
plot point.
But again, the fact that they like tinged it towards being like a horror series, I think is interesting.
Yeah.
So I think, Andy, I think you're right. Like, this was definitely like a horror bented trailer.
And maybe that's just for trailer purposes to like get people through the door.
Well, I think it's not to spoil the hook of the tent scene that we see, and you hear those weird noises. Like, when
buddy.
the big twist comes, I think people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is nothing like I thought it was."
Yeah,
and I'm very excited for that point, because it's gonna be a freaking gas.
So, do you think the big twist is even going to happen in season 1?
Yeah, totally.
You think so?
I think that will be one of the side stories of season 1. Of, like, this weird thing that they're seeing, because like there's also a bigger story happening, like we'll say in like the first 2 arcs.
Yeah,
that takes precedent over the weird thing that is also happening.
Yeah, man, it's been so long since I've read Revival, and I don't think I ever finished it.
It's good, man. You should definitely.
I read a mix of issues here and there. I kind of bought it based on covers and knew it was cool, and I'd flip through it and gather what I could. I did the same thing with like Chew. That book was like kind of enjoyable on a like issue to issue basis, and I'd just pick it up randomly.
Talk about a book that's aching for a TV show.
Yeah, I'm kind of that. It almost seems like that book's old enough now where like, did its moment pass? Like if it hasn't been made a show yet. I mean, obviously, like Invincible just got made into a show not that long ago, and it's older than Chew is. But I don't know. It kind of felt like, oh yeah, someone's gonna pick this up, and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, true.
Do you think Chew presents better as live action or animated?
Animated.
Probably animated. It'd be another
like
good
a
one for Amazon
robot
to
chicken
tackle
style show.
Yeah, we had a Chew revival crossover at one point. I mean, that'd be fun.
God, I forgot about that.
Have Chew show up in in this show.
Would be kind of funny. If
a backdoor pilot.
I can see Sci-Fi being like, you know what? We could get Chew in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, folks, we've done everything on our itinerary for this stream. We are at about an hour, so I think we're gonna call it. I don't know how to end these things. I'm terrible at goodbyes. We're gonna record the main episode, which you can listen to tomorrow, where we'll talk about this, that, and the other. What am I talking about? Well, tune in tomorrow and find out. Until then, bye.
Thanks.
Later.